the Mohawks. They picked up their first win last week. A fourth quarter comeback, 14-13 over Ayers. And Dixie takes it to about the 12. He breaks a few tackles. They picked up a nice win last week. Ayersville 2-0 going into that game, and a big comeback, big win for them. They get some confidence going into the game. Shotgun formation, and he is sacked by Eric Bogger and number 75. That's Chris Kirshner. About 8 on the field, make that 9. He's second 15 for the Mohawks. At their own 20, getting good penetration.
Toby Hammond's got me impressed with the intensity the Senecas are coming out with. Usually you start out maybe a little lackadaisical, but they're coming out firing right away.
And Johnson rolls. He's being chased by Raitt. And it's intercepted by Dustin Reisner. And he could have been the story this year so far for the Senecas, getting the early turnover. And right away, 5-yard line in striking distance. And that happened in week 1. It happened in week 2 3 straight times. And last week against Sandusky St. Mary's, it happened 3 times in the first quarter. So opponents not needing to give Calvert that extra chance, but doing it. And they usually pay dearly for it. So just 10:24 left here in the first quarter, and already Calvert inside the 5. The gives to Puffenberger. He rattles his way for about 2, maybe 3. Down to the 2-yard line. Bring up a second goal situation. Good to see Puffenberger back on the field. Kind of shaken up at the end of last week's game with a neck, maybe a shoulder injury, but he appears back in good form.
Senecas really going to have to count on him in the latter part of the season here.
Yeah, they are, and it's all part of that balanced attack that Toby Hammond has. Now a second goal for the Senecas. Keller under center. Double tight end. He's back to throw, and he's got a wide open Reisner. Touchdown, Calvert. So barely 2 minutes gone in the first quarter, and Calvert already on the board.
You know, we see that play a lot where defensive back just steps off so much that Reisner just centers himself in the corner of the end zone there, and Keller just hits it.
That's right, and a good job of making that pass. They usually run a 2-point conversion play, something like that. Now Fisher back to kick. It's up, and it's good. So Bart Fisher puts the Senecas extra up. 9:42 to go in the first quarter. Tiffin Calvert 7, Fostoria St. Wendelin nothing. Alrighty, Chris Holman, Josh Miller back here at National Machinery Field, and a quick strike by the Senecas. They take a 7-0 lead. Now Fisher to kick it off. Dixie again back deep for the Mohawks. And here's his kick. And a little bounce. Dixie will field it at the 10. Rait's in there. He makes the initial hit. And as well, Mark Bogger in there. So the Mohawks will try and get something going here again. And as Coach Gilbert said earlier in the night, they try and go to a better passing game, try and throw the ball a little more, and it may not be a good thing. Calvert, an awful good secondary. Reisner, a first-team All-Ohio defensive back a year ago. And already the plan has kind of backfired here. Now Johnson again under center. The give is to Dixie. He's wrapped up at the line, maybe 1, possibly 2.
Dixie was the ball carrier. On the stop was Chris Kirshner and John.
Well, Josh, on the interception, Johnson really never got a very good throw off. He's under pressure, and it just kind of floated out there. Reisner, he's a big target. He's 6'2". He just picked that off.
I believe John Rait's got the pressure, and it kind of grabbed hold of his jersey, and the ball just kind of hung in the air for Reisner to pick it off.
Yeah, he did, and Calvert getting good pressure on Johnson early. Now there's the option. Johnson, he's hammered. That was Reisner on the initial hit. That's going to bring up a 3rd down for the Mohawks.
Ryan Johnson, the ball carrier.
Calvert as quick a start as they got off to last week against Sandusky St. Mary's. They kind of sputtered a little. They took a 17-0 lead into the locker room, but still they were kind of flat towards the end of the first half. And I'm sure, well, it's already a good start tonight, but I'm sure this is what Toby wants. He wants a quick start and show some flash early.
St. Wendelin, I'm sure you didn't want to be down by 7 with 2 minutes into the ball game.
No, and there's a give to Dixie again. He's going to be close to the first down, still a yard or two shy.
Shannon Dixie, the ball carrier.
And
Carrying the ball up close to a first down.
it's close enough. I think they're going to have to measure. And indeed they will.
It seems in like the 3 weeks that we've been doing this, the weather's been the same every week. It's just been beautiful out.
Yeah, it has. The sun down a little quicker tonight, and it's starting to cool off, but still a beautiful night. Now the measurement, and it looks as though he has it, and by the length of the football. Indeed, the Mohawks do, so they'll get 4 more downs to try and get something going here. They trail 7-0, 8:10 left in the first quarter. Really, St. Wendelin traditionally not a passing team. In the Peluso years, they like to kind of line up in the wishbone, and now there's the give, and it's a big fullback, Lucas Hawkins. Again, though, wrapped up at the line. That was number 51, Adam Reinhardt, on the initial hit. And Hawkins, he's a big boy. He stands about 6'2", 220 or so, 250. So, and he is just a sophomore. So, some big boys out there for the Mohawks. They just haven't been able to do a whole lot with that size. Now again the fake, and it's Johnson on the option. He picks up about 2, maybe 3, before he is wrapped up by Tim Brodman.
Looks like either he or the running back went to the wrong side because he kind of faked to nobody there.
Yeah, he did. And of course, we saw a clinic of the option last night here at the stadium, and it was Shelby stunning Columbian 14-7, and probably just one of the weirdest games I've ever been associated with. It was a game where it just toyed with your emotions, and finally the Whippets come out on top. Now the wishbone for the Mohawks. And it's going to be Johnson wrapped up. Mark Bogger, the freshman, he's in there on the hit, and it's going to bring up a punting situation for the Mohawks. So St. Wendelin not much doing on the first 2 possessions. And it's going to be Calvert's ball again. Fisher will be back deep for Calvert. Fisher, the MAL's leading receiver.
I think as young as Calvert's defense is, they've really matured. They know their positions. And they kind of gelled together.
Yeah, they have, and that was one thing Coach Hammond was worried about. Now Fisher, he jukes, he jives, and he avoids a couple of tackles, and he gets it out to about the Calvert 42-yard line. So Nate Keller and the rest of the crew will come out here and see what they can get going. 5:59 to go in the first quarter. Calvert with a 7-0 lead.
On the stop was number 77, Rob Sexton.
Once again, the Senecas go with the double tight end set. Puffenberger backfield, 2 wide receivers set, and they give to Puffenberger. He has a hole. He breaks free for about 5 yards, up near the 50-yard line.
Puffenberger, the ball carrier.
I think they'll spot at about the 48. Bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Senecas.
About a 5-yard gain on the play will make it 2nd and 5.
Josh, you talk about a young team, and it's the Mohawks. You look down at the roster, and you see a lot of freshmen, sophomores, not all that many seniors, but the seniors they do have are a few good ones. So,
Like Calvert, they don't have a lot of numbers out for their team.
no, and that's kind of with all these Division VI programs. You're not going to see unless you're Delta St. John, who has 115 kids in the school, and 85 of them play football. But of course, the Blue Jays, another shutout last night. They've yet to allow a point this year. So after the officials' time out in the field, Calvert back to work. Now 4 receivers split. Looks like Lucius and Lee to the far side. Now Lucius in motion. And he goes to the air. He goes to Fisher and overthrown. That was Shannon Dixie on the cover.
Keller's pass intended for Fisher goes incomplete.
Fisher tried to make an adjustment on the ball, and there was just no way he could get to that one.
No, he really couldn't. Maybe just a little underthrown for Fisher to try and get to. But another note of interest tonight, Nate Keller needs 220 yards passing to hit the 1,000-yard mark, and Josh we're only to week 4. And last year at this time, through 4 games, he had 744 yards. So well ahead of his passing mark of a year ago. Now the pass is complete to Reisner. That's good for about 10, 11 yards and into Mohawk territory at the 41. So the Senecas will have another first down. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
I think the key to Keller's success is his consistency. I mean, he had 2 interceptions last week, but, you know, he kept it together and he led his team to victory, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, he did. He didn't lose his composure. Came right back, fired a couple more scores, and that's I guess that's what a season like last year will do for you. Now the gives to Puffenberger. He gets hit initially behind the line, keeps moving, and gets about 5 yards out of that. So, once again, that shows how important it is to keep your feet moving. He picked up an extra five yards or so instead of taking a loss of 1 or 2. Bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Senecas.
2 Mohawks in the backfield, and it kind of looked hopeless for him. He just kind of spun and turned and twisted his way out of there.
Yeah, he did. It was a great job on his part. Now Lucius checks back in the ball game for Calvert. We'll have 3 receivers split to one side. Reisner on the far side. And Lucius now in motion. And we're going to have a flag. That's going to go against the Senecas. I believe 2 men in motion is going to be the call. And indeed it is. No, offside. And the Senecas, right off the bat, they line up in the neutral zone before the ball is even snapped. Toby Hammond just has to shake his head on that.
Yeah, the physical mistakes you can take, but it's the mental ones that really make you mad as a coach.
That's right. And I don't care how good of a team you are, you cannot afford mental mistakes. And now the gives to Puffenberger. He has a hole. Picks up about 4.
Puffenberger, the ball carrier. On the stop of the Mohawks was
Matt Saunders on the stop for the Mohawks.
5 yard feet on the play. Will now make it 3rd and 5 for the Senecas.
Well, it looks like Calvert is having a little more success running the ball than they did a week ago. St. Mary's really did a nice job of stopping Puffenberger, stopping Wraith, and nevertheless, though, Calvert musters out about 160-some yards on the ground. But really, you wouldn't have guessed that by watching the game. Now Keller rolls. He's got Fisher inside the 20 to about the 19. So a gain of about 15 yards for Fisher. And that's going to give Calvert a first down at about the 20.
On the tackle for the Mohawks was
Shannon Dixie on the stop once again. And Calvert again in striking distance.
You know, we'd like to welcome all the Calvert alumni here. It's alumni night here.
It is, and Josh, you and me alumnus ourselves. So now the offset to Puffenberger. He's wrapped up in the backfield, but flags come flying. We'll see what that call is. And it looks like it's going to be holding. More than likely against Calvert, it is. So, now the one thing they'll want to avoid is some early flags. That hold set the Senecas back 11 yards. It does come from the spot of the foul. And it'll bring up a 1st and 21 situation.
You know, we talked about before how you get deep in your opponent's territory and maybe a holding penalty or a clip. And that 10 or 15 yards really sets you back.
Yeah, it does. And, of course, St. Mary's inside the Calvert 23 times last week in the first half. They didn't get in either time, and see what the results were. Now there's the pass. Almost intercepted. Lee was the intended receiver. He was knocked at about the 25. No interference called. And they'll bring up a 2nd and 21.
Kind of looked at the ref to say, can you help me out? And the ref was like, it was within the 5-yard limit. So
that's right. He did not get the call. So now Lucius back into the ball game. 3:01 left here in the first quarter. And we're going to have an equipment, looks like Lee having some problems with his equipment. He's got it squared away. And he'll split wide. Keller now back in the shotgun, and this is the first time we've seen this from Calvert this year. He goes to the air, and I don't know where that was going. It looks like it was intended for Fisher, but nevertheless way off the mark. And Reisner kind of holds his hand out. I don't know if there's a little miscommunication on that route. Nevertheless, 3rd and 21 for Calvert now. And you got to figure this is 2-down territory.
Look for maybe a little quick out here, or a nice little slant pattern.
Well, we'll see. Fisher is one of the wideouts now. Reisner in motion. And Keller roll. Puffenberger with the block. He looks to the end zone again. There's Reisner. He's got it. A great catch by Dustin Reisner. They're going to call him out of bounds. They're going to call Dustin Reisner out of bounds. Great catch. Tough call. It looked to me like Reisner was in, but they're going to say it a foot out. And that's going to bring up a 4th down situation. So Keller not shy on going to the end zone, but he thought he had that one there.
That was really close. You couldn't really even see from up here. I mean, I thought he had his 1 foot in, but the rest say no.
I really did too. And of course, the official about 10 yards behind the play. So now the trips formation bunched to the right. Keller looks again. He pumps one. Now he's got Reisner going. And it's to Lee. A wide open Eric Lee. And he's going to score. Touchdown Calvert. A great play of Nate Keller. He made that play. He directed Eric Lee. And wide open. But a great job of directing him. And he just used his speed to get to the end zone. So Calvert 13-0 now. 2:39 left in the first quarter.
Keller just showing great poise and patience on that. He just kind of was the ringleader out there, told him where to go, and just put the ball where it needed to be.
It really was. I thought he was going to go to Reisner, but it's Lee. Now Fisher the kick. It's up. It's good. So 2:39 left in the first quarter here. Tiffin Calvert 14, Fostoria St. 1-0. Alrighty, Chris Holman, Josh Miller back here at National Machinery Field, and Bart Fisher will kick it off for the 3rd time in this first quarter. Calvert strikes again. They take a 14-0 lead on St. Wendelin. And there's his kick. Back deep this time. It's number 28, James Bowerman. And he jukes, and he's leveled at about the 26, 27-yard line. And Ryan Johnson and the Mohawks back on the field to try and get something going on offense here. Well, Josh, once again, on that last touchdown drive there, Nate Keller, he fakes first to the right, rolls to his left, directs Reisner to the end zone, and then all of a sudden Eric Lee comes streaking across the middle, throws it to him, and he scores. So Calvert line give him great time to throw. That's veteran play there.
That's where the experience really pays off. You know, he just kind of didn't rush himself. He just stayed back in the pocket and let the play develop.
That's right. Now the Mohawks in the wishbone, and the gives to Dixie, and he is wrapped up by Chris Kirshner. No gain on the play. And the Calvert line just shooting on in there.
The first quarters haven't been really kind to opponents here.
No, it really hasn't. We've seen all the past 2 weeks here at the stadium. We've seen 21 points, 10 points, now 14 points put up by the Senecas in the first quarter. And we still have 2 minutes left. Dixie lost a yard on that play to bring up a 2nd and 11 for the Mohawks from their own 25. Again, the gives to Dixie, and he's wrapped up. John Rates and Tim Brodman dropping for a loss of 2 more. So quickly, the the passing game is shed, and all of a sudden they're back in that wishbone backfield.
I'm sure the Mohawks are coming in with a lot of confidence, you know, and they're just not seeming to do nothing.
No, this is a situation they did not want to be in early, but it's happened. And again, whole house backfield. And the gives to Dixie. He looks to a halfback pass, and it's going to be picked up by Reisner again. And he's still up and going, but still in Mohawk territory. So Dustin Reisner, the go-to guy tonight, 2 interceptions and a touchdown. And the Senecas, with a minute and 8, will have another shot here in the first quarter. Well, Dustin with 13 interceptions last year, and that has to be his 4th or 5th already this year. So off to another roaring start.
That might have been a poor decision, throwing in a double coverage. He might have just tucked the ball and ran it.
Yeah, it really was, and with the pressure he had on him. But now here's Keller out of that shotgun again. 5 receivers. And there's a screen to Fisher. He's got a lot of running room. He's inside the 30 to the 20, and just one man to beat. He's tripped up inside the 15-yard line. Nevertheless, about a 25-yard gain for the Mohawks. I'm sorry, for the Senecas. To about the Mohawk 15. A great play by Calvert there. They send 5 receivers out, and all of a sudden Fisher just kind of squirts across and takes a screen, and he had open running room.
Reisner with another good block there. Last week he had a couple of blocks to set people free for touchdowns. So.
Yeah, he did. He had 2 great blocks. And now the gives to Puffenberger. He has a hole. He gets about 2, maybe 3. He gets to about the 12-yard line. First quarter winding down here. Brett Lucius on the stop for the Mohawks. And it will be about 2nd and 7 for Calvert. Josh Moyer checks in the ball game. That means they'll probably go to the double tight end set. No, we'll just go 1 tight end, 3 receiver split. And the gives to Puffenberger. He has room. He's inside the 5 all the way down to the 4-yard line. And it looks like they'll spot it at the 3. So Calvert, another 1st and goal situation.
So far this season, Calvert's been the big play offense, and tonight their defense has come up with the big plays.
Yeah, they have, but I tell you what, the offense has capitalized for them. We'll see if Calvert gets the play off here in the first quarter. And they won't. They'll run down the first quarter, so. We've played one here at Frost-Kalnow Stadium. It's 5th-ranked Calvert, 14. Fostoria St. 1-0. Alrighty, we're back here just to start the second quarter, and Calvert threatening again. They already have a 14-0 lead, and they're knocking on the Mohawks' door. They're at the 3-yard line.
St. Wendelin's really got to find a way to stop the bleeding right now.
Yeah, they do, because it's a wide open gash Calvert's given them. And the gives to Puffenberger. He goes to the side. He's in for the score. So another easy score for Eric Puffenberger. And Calvert takes a 20-0 lead. Well, Josh, 5 seconds into the second quarter, that didn't take long. And we could be well on our way to another long night. Now Mark Baugher to hold for Bart Fisher. There's the snap, the hold, the kick. It's up and no good. Well, I'll tell you what, it's really hard to see up here if that goes through the uprights, but nevertheless, 11:55 left in the second quarter. Tiffin Calvert 20, Fostoria St. 1-0. Alrighty, and what has already become a very familiar sight tonight, Bart Fisher will kick away for the 4th time, and we're just 5 seconds into the second quarter. Deep for the Mohawks is Shannon Dixie, and they already have to be kind of reeling. A good kick by Fisher. It's going to be picked up by Dixie at about the 13, and he's hit by Chad Perry with the initial hit, and he's going to be about the 21. So here come the Mohawks again, not much doing in their first 3 possessions. 2 interceptions and a punt. Both those interceptions by Dustin Reisner.
St. Wendelin's crowd, like many others visiting here, don't have a lot to cheer about.
No, they really don't. No. Not a word out of that side of the field. Another good crowd on hand for Calvert tonight. Now the Mohawks will work out of the eye. Johnson under center, and the Mohawks have been pressured all night. Calvert's front four doing a real good job. Now he's going to be forced to scramble, and he's hit by Hostess Senecas. And now we're going to have a flag in. That's
like
going to
a
have to
face
go.
mask.
Yeah, that's going to have to go against Calvert. Now we'll just see if it's of the 5 or 15-yard variety. And indeed it is a face mask. I'd imagine this is going to be a 5-yarder. And no, they're going to give him 15 yards on that. Wow. Well, they had to come at the bottom of the pile, really. But nevertheless, it's going to be a first down for the Mohawks at their own 41-yard line. Their second first down of the night. And again, out of the eye. Johnson's back to pass. Broadman got a hand on it, but it's caught. That's number 24 for the Mohawks, Jeff Williams. And he picks up about 5 yards. Reisner knocked him out of bounds. And that will bring up a long 5. Calvert showing blitz. They give to the big fullback, that's Lucas Hawkins. He picks up about 2. And it's going to be 3rd down. So Josh, not much out of the Mohawk running game. 1, maybe 2 yards, but that's been about it.
Calvert had about eight men within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, and there was just no doing there.
No, it wasn't. No. Real nice job. Now the Seneca defense shift. Hawkins and Dixie in the backfield. And the give's going to be to Dixie. He's going to have the first down. Of course, when you have a guy that's 6'2", 250 blocking for you, I hope you can get at least something out of it.
You grab a hold of his jersey and you follow him to daylight.
Well, not a whole lot of daylight there, but enough for the first down. Still inside their own territory at about the 49. And slowly a little drive developing here. Well, they need something. Trailing 20-0 already. Now Johnson, he's back to pass. And it's caught. No, that's going to call incomplete. That was Jeff Williams again, the intended receiver. It looks like he might trap that on the ground. That will bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Mohawks.
You know, them 3 scores happened so quickly. St. Williams just kind of got to look at the scoreboard and think what happened.
Yeah, it really did. Well, and it's all because of the turnovers. 2 interceptions, and especially where they give them the ball, that will happen. And Calvert cashes in. Now the give, it's to Dixie, and he's leveled by Tim Broadman in the backfield. He maybe lost a yard. He does. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 11.
That was just a good job by Broadman staying home.
Tim Broadman's not a real big kid, but boy, he plays so tough. Key member of last year's team. And defensively, so far this year, I didn't think it was really possible, but these guys look to be a little tougher defensively than last year's team. But we'll wait and see as the year goes on. Now 3rd and 11 for the Mohawks. At their own 48, Johnson back to pass. Almost intercepted by Adam Reinhardt. And it's incomplete, so the Mohawks will have to punt again. The intended receiver was Andy Faber. And number 60, that's Joe Reinhardt. He'll have to punt for the 2nd time tonight. Bart Fisher deep for Calvert. 9:43 to go in the first half. There's the snap. The kick, it's a good one. And it's going to take a Mohawk bounce, fielded by Fisher. He turns on the Jets. He's got some running room right down the sidelines and almost to the 40-yard line. So where it looks like the ball will bounce, maybe the end zone, Fisher scoops it up and scampers about 26, 27 yards. Now Keller and the Senecas back out in the field. They'll take over at about the 37-yard line. And already with a nice, comfortable lead, we'll see what they try and do. I'm sure they'll try and work some new plays in there, work on some things. Now Fisher in motion. And a fumble, and Keller just falls on it. Once again, the right thing to do. We saw last night fumbles all over the place in that Columbia-Shelby game. And they all seem to bounce Shelby's way.
I'm sure we'll see. Oh, go ahead.
Keller loses about 2 yards on the play.
Sure, we'll see like a mixture of the pass and run here again.
Yeah. Well, as always, I guess. Like I say, Toby does a great job of balancing out that offense. Now 4 receivers split, and Keller looks to pass. He's got Eric Lee. And are they going to call that a catch? I believe they are. And they do. So about a 7-yard gain from Nate Keller to Eric Lee. About 3 yards shy of the first down. It brings up 3rd and 3. Now they're going to bring Mark Bogger in the ball game. We saw him as a wideout last week. We saw him in several different positions last week. Of course, a fixture on defense. He's asserted himself there, but we also saw him a little bit at quarterback and then at wide receiver. Now Keller rolls. He's got Fisher, and it's a 1st down. Just inside Mohawk territory to about the 49-yard line. And again, just those little quick outs that Calvert so patent on running. And now a flag. And it's going to go against Calvert. So wipe out that 1st down. I didn't really see it come out in the field.
You know, them outs so successful because of the deep threat. You have to play off if you're a defensive back here. You
do.
You almost have to give up the little 5-yard out.
Well, that's right. And of course, you play up, and Calvert's got some good speed out there at the receiver positions. But now, nevertheless, it's going to be marched back 5 yards. And instead of a 1st down, we're going to be looking at 3rd and 15. I'm sorry, that was a 10-yard penalty. Toby Hammond just kind of shakes his head. And Keller fumbles again and has to fall on it. So 2 fumbles in that series. Not real characteristic of Calvert, but indeed it happens, and they'll have to punt. Keller loses about 5 more on the play. And it'll be 4th and 20.
Sure, a lot of questions on the sideline there as to what happened this last possession and getting the exchange from the center to the quarterback.
Yeah, Toby just kind of threw his hands like, come on, guys. And there's a real high snap. Fisher does a great job of getting it away. Almost blocked, but a really good punt. And it's going to be dropped at about the 42-yard line. So near disaster there turns into a pretty good punt by Bart Fisher. $7:25 to go here in the first half. Calvert leads 20-0. And the Mohawks will have their 4th shot at it.
St. Wendelin, the really good field position here. I'd really like to see some points get on the scoreboard right now.
Oh, I'm sure they would. They need to get something going. There's the give to Dixie. He's wrapped up, and I think another flag's in there. I guess, yes it is. It's going to be a hold on the Mohawks. That's going to march them back 10. Well, it's really hard to see now. You throw that yellow flag and they have the yellow soccer lines down there. If it hits in that area, it's really hard to see.
Our first couple games here, relatively penalty-free, and tonight we've seen a lot of dirty laundry in the field.
Yeah, you really do. So, the Mohawks will now face a 1st and 18 from their own 34. Now Johnson on the keeper. He goes nowhere. Racked up in the backfield. He'll lose one or two more. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 19. And once again, the Calvert line doing a great job of getting in there and really kind of putting an early stop to anything before it develops.
Looks as though he may have brushed the ball against the fullback and almost fumbled there in the backfield.
Now the Mohawks at their own 33. Have a broken backfield. And it gives to Dixie. Hit initially, keeps his legs moving. He'll pick up about 3, maybe 4, but still well short of the first down. About a 3rd and 13 situation. He got about 6 yards on that play. And really, he was hit at the line of scrimmage, but Adam Reinhardt on the stop. And they're going to have to go to the air here. Not much doing in the running game. And this is what happens when you can't get anything on 1st and 2nd down. Now they're forced to throw. Calvert showing blitz. They pressure Johnson, and the pass is complete. Still well shy of the first down, and there's not much he can do. He's lucky to get that pass off.
Faber just couldn't keep his balance there. He's seen the first down marker, but just couldn't quite get to it.
No, he's going to fall about 5 yards short. And the Mohawks will once again have to punt. Fisher again back deep. Reinhardt punt it for St. Wendelin.
Reinhardt leading the league in punting with a 36.1 average.
And a good punt. Fisher leveled. He goes nowhere. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So here come the Calvert offense again. And we'll see what they can muster this time. The last time, 2 fumbles that, fortunately, they jump on both of them.
Fisher there might have thought about fair catching that.
.5:13 to go here in the first half. And the 4 wideouts for Calvert. Puffenberger in the backfield. Keller under center. Now Reisner in motion. And Keller back to throw. He's got Eric Lee. No. Off his shoulder pad. That was number 44, Andrew Kimes, on the coverage. Well, Lee had it in his hands, and he had to kind of backpedal a little to try and make that catch. No go. Now Chad Perry and Tim Broadman checking the game. Lee will come out.
It's as if he was open for a second, and just before the ball got there, Kimes was able to tip it away.
Yeah, he did. He did a nice job of coverage there. Now the gives to Puffenberger. Not much doing there. Maybe 3 yards. And again, the Senecas face a 3rd down situation. Perry and Broadman come back out. Reisner checks in. As does Eric Lee. We've actually had all that action quick, and now this place is kind of quieted down a little bit.
And maybe sometimes the fans get a little spoiled around here because so much action, so many points get on the board, and one or two
Now
possessions.
Keller pressured. He's taken down.
One or two possessions, they don't do anything, and it's kind of like, what happened to our offense?
That's right. Now Keller under pressure for the first time tonight. He goes down, and Keller will have to punt for the second consecutive time. Calvert's offense looks like it might have gotten a little relaxed there and not getting the job done. Now Fisher will kick it away. The last time we had a high snap, did a great job of getting it off. And the Mohawks bring it, and it's blocked. And if he can get on it, it's going to be a score. They do. They block it, and the Mohawks score. It's hard to see who recovered that. There's a host of Mohawks down there, and things not going Calvert's way these last two possessions. Lucas Hawkins is going to be given credit for the touchdown.
It really became a battle of field position there, and Calvert kept getting further and further back into their own territory.
And they did. The last two special team efforts have been disastrous for Calvert. And now Hawkins with the extra. It's up. It's good. So Fostoria St. won one on the board. 3:51 here to go in the first half. Tiffin Calvert 20, St. 117. Back here at Frost-Kalnow Stadium, National Machinery Field, and maybe a wake-up call for the Calvert Senecas. St. will box a punt, and they're on the board. They'll now kick it away for the first time tonight. That will be Hawkins doing the kicking. And it's a good one. It's taken by Fisher, and he gets an opening. And now some daylight up to about the 44-yard line. So we'll see what the offense does this time. The last two times out, real sluggish, and
I'm sure St. Wendelin's defense really energized after that last touchdown.
well, yeah, and I'm sure Toby Hammond put his 2 cents into that huddle. He was not a happy camper. And we'll see what happens.
And Toby's a great motivator. We'll see what he can do with his kids here.
He does, and he really doesn't tolerate mistakes. I guess the physical mistakes, yes, he can, but not mental like that. No. Now the gives to Puffenberger. He's got daylight. He breaks free. And down to the 40-yard line, finally taken down at the 39. So about a 15-yard carry, and that's what he wanted to see out of the first play.
It's really nice to see a healthy Puffenberger out there.
Yes, it is. So 15 yards, that's really Calvert's biggest running play on the ground so far. And they're into Mohawk territory at the 40. I'm sure they'll try and answer quickly. Reisner now in motion again. And the gives to Puffenberger. He's got another hole. Picked up about 6 yards. So now Puffenberger just grinding it out, trying to chew up a little of that clock.
Yeah, he does a really great job of keeping his balance while turning his legs at the same time.
Yeah, he does. He gets hit in the legs, and he just does that little spin, and it gets him an extra 2-3 yards. Bring up a 2nd and 4 for Calvert at the Mohawks 35-yard line. Now Keller the fake, and now a swing out to Josh Moyer. So a new receiver into the Seneca fold there. Josh Moyer, he gets about 6 yards, and it looks like he'll have a first down. That's going to be spotted right at the 30, and now we're gonna have officials timeout for measurement.
It's going to be really close.
Yeah, it is. It really is. They don't have very far to go over on that sideline. And he has the first down. So St. Wendelin gets a defensive touchdown, and now Calvert looking to strike.
Just caught that pass. Will turn 16 years old on September the 20th.
Now 3 receivers for Seneca. The gives to Puffenberger. He's hit initially, but a big burst, and close to another first down. So it's been all Eric Puffenberger on this drive, Josh. He's just kind of that burst they're looking for. going to be a 9-yard gain on that play. Bring up a 2nd and 1 from the 21. 2:18 to go here in the first half.
It almost seems as the tempo of the game has, increased rapidly in these last possessions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that last touchdown was a wake-up call because Calvert really hasn't faltered any on this drive. Now he gives Pfaffenberger again straight up the middle, but he is hit by Hawkins. A big hit by Hawkins, and Pfaffenberger a little slow to get up. I had to be like hitting a brick wall, 250 pounds.
On the top was Hawkins.
Of Lucas Hawkins. Clock still running, now 1:42, and it's going to be a 3rd and 1, maybe just a little less than 1 for Calvert. Now trips bunched to her left side here. Keller back to throw. Out to lead, just a little overthrown, and it's going to bring up a 4th down play. Well, we'll see what they do here. I'm sure they'll go for it.
Yeah, we've seen Calvert attempt a field goal at the end of halftime last week.
Yeah, they did, about 40 yards, but well short. And now time for maybe St. Wendelin's defense to shine here a little. 4th and 1 for Calvert at the St. Wendelin 21. That's Pfaffenberger, and he's got it, and about 3 yards more. So Calvert lines up in that double tight, and that line just plunges forward, and we're going to have another 1st down.
That was a good job of the offensive line just exploding and pushing the Mohawks back.
That's right.
ScoreboardOhio.com advertisement. If you have Go Blue written on that, please bring that to the press box to select a
Now 3 receiver split. Keller to roll. He'll pass. He's pressured. He escapes. Now he looks towards Fisher, and just underthrown is Keller to Fisher at about the 4-yard line. Good pressure by the Mohawks, and a good job of Nate Keller to escape a sack there. 1:01 left in the first half. 2nd and 10. Keller did a nice job of getting away from Sandusky St. Mary's last week. I think he was only sacked twice. But that's the kind of athleticism that makes big plays.
polo shirt from ScoreboardOhio.com and $10. Please look on their ad.
Now Keller in that shotgun again. Pfaffenberger beside him to block. A low snap, and the gives to Pfaffenberger, and he goes nowhere. That was number 77 for the Mohawks. That was Rob Sachs there. He wraps him up, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. And the clock is running. Down to about 40 seconds. Nick Lucius checks in the ball game. And I know if you're Toby Hammond and Calvert, you want to get a score here. Calvert with all 3 timeouts remaining, as is St. Wendelin. Now Keller, he's pressured, he runs, and a wide open Bart Fisher touchdown. And you know what? It's not going to be a touchdown because Nate Keller went past the line of scrimmage. Fisher, no one even within 6-7 yards of him, that Keller went over the line.
As soon as he threw that, all the Mohawks just kind of looked at the refs and threw their hands up like he was over the line.
And he was well over the line, and if I'm correct, that's a loss of down as well.
We have a winner on the Lucky program. It goes to Joe Aiello. Joe Aiello is the nice winner for the Lucky program.
Well, it's going to be a loss of about 5 yards for Calvert, and it's going to bring up 4th down. So, a bit of misfortune there. We'll see what the call is here.
Plus for Calvert being there isn't any time for the Mohawks to be able to do anything before the end of the half.
No, there's not. Should they get the ball back here, they'll more than likely take a knee, but we'll see what happens. Here's that trips bunch to the left side. Keller back to throw. He's got time. He's got a wide open Eric Lee. No, fumble. They're going to call it an incomplete pass. Eric Lee had it in the end zone, and he just drops it. Kind of a dejected Nate Keller there, and the Mohawks will take over.
Mohawks will take over
So kind of a broken 2 plays there. We thought Calvert had touchdown on each play, and they come up empty-handed. So now St. Wendelin will take over, and I'd imagine they'll just kneel on it.
Sure, when they look back at this game, they're going to count the missed opportunities that they had here.
Yeah, they really are. And things just really kind of went bad for Calvert here in the second quarter. Oh, they do. That will run time out here in the first half. So 10 seconds and counting. And that will do it. So we've played 1 half of football here at Frost-Kalnow Stadium. Our score, Tiffin Calvert 20. Chris Holman, Josh Miller back here for second half action. Calvert leading Fostoria St. Wendelin 20-7, and Josh really, after a kind of a lackluster second quarter, the Senecas in a bit of trouble, but nevertheless they're out. Here's Mark Bogger on the kick. He's got a big opening, and into Mohawk territory to about the 47-yard line. So this freshman and Mark Bogger, I'm very impressed with this kid. He's kind of the do-it-all kid, and he gets Calvert off to a good start here in the second half.
You know, if you're St. Wendelin, you really got to be happy being only down by 13 points coming out of the locker room.
That's right. 5 seconds into the second quarter, they trailed 20-0 in this game. Alrighty, Nate Keller again back under center. 3 receivers split wide for Calvert. And he's going to look to the short side. That's Reisner. That's going to be an incomplete pass. It's a little underthrown. Reisner tries to dive for it, but comes up short.
And that was one of the more or less timing patterns, and they just weren't on the same page quite there.
No, they weren't. Of course, the halftime score coming along. St. Joe winless, but they lead Senecas 12-7 at halftime. Be second and 10 for Calvert, and I'm sure after that missed scoring opportunity right before the end of the half, they want to come out here and get some points on the board. Now the gives to John Rates, and he breaks free. He's got a big hole, and he's gone! Touchdown, John Rates! And I'll tell you what, this kid is just amazing. That is the 4th time this year that the first carry of the ball game he has scored. 51 yards for John Rates. And Calvert takes a 26-7 lead.
It's like a little stick of dynamite out there, just exploding.
Unbelievable. John Rates spells Eric Pfaffenberger and a 51-yard touchdown run. And Josh, that's his second score in the past 2 weeks of over 50 yards.
Kind of really excited this crowd right here.
Wow. So again, the quick strike by Calvert, and they'll go for 2. Keller back. He's got lead. No good. No good. That's a different 2-point conversion try than they've done in the past, but nevertheless, 11:31 left here in the third quarter. Tiffin Calvert 26, Fostoria St. 117. Back at National Machinery Field, and 29 seconds. I'm sorry, a little bit longer than that. 39 seconds into the second half. Calvert on the board again. And Shannon Dixie takes Bart Fisher's kick. And he gets it out to about the 30-yard line where the Mohawks will take over 1st and 10. Well, no more were the words out of my mouth that Calvert needed a big score, and John Rates was rumbling and stumbling to the end zone. And that's just what the Senecas had ordered. So now we'll see what their defense can do. Really, St. Wendelin, that score came defensively, so not a whole lot going offensively. And we have some movement on the line, and I believe that's going to set St. Wendelin back 5 more yards. The whole left side of that line jumps kind of quick. And indeed, it is a legal procedure. And, I really just can't get over Rates there. It's a wonder what a fresh pair of legs can do for an offense. And in his case, it was 6 points.
He showed really good speed there. Just kind of got in the second there. He just ran away from their defensive back.
He really did. Well, we'll see what St. Wendelin's backs can do here. I formation. And Johnson rolls. Kirshner kind of tripped up. He'll have to keep it. And Mark Blogger levels it. He picked up 4 yards, but the freshman gives him a pretty good hit. And instead of trying to tackle him at the shoulders, good job, nailed him right in the leg. Boy, I tell you what, this kid's going to be an All-Ohioan by the time he graduates.
He did a really good job of covering the receiver and waited the quarterback commit to the run and then just came up and tackled him.
Bring up a 2nd and 11 for the Mohawks. They trail 26-7. Now Johnson back. He looks to pass, and it's intercepted by Art Fisher. He is gone. Touchdown, Calvert. Another big play. And all of a sudden, just like that, Calvert takes a 32-7 lead. Johnson telegraphed that pass. Fisher knew right what he was doing, stepped in front of it, and he was the other way for 6. And now Fisher is in for the point after, so he's kind of the do-it-all kid for Calvert. Bogger the hold. The kick hits up. And good. So 10:32 to go in the third quarter. Tiffin Calvert 33, Fostoria St. Wendelin 7. Alrighty, we're back here again at National Machinery Field. 2 quick scores by the Senecas. 33-7, and Bart Fisher will kick it away again. Dan and Dixie once again back deep for St. Wendelin. A line drive kick, and Dixie handles it about the 15. He'll return it up. He's over the 30, and finally he's going to be taken down at about the 33-yard line, and the Mohawks will put it in play 1st and 10.
You know, we talked about Calvert and their big plays, and so far they haven't disappointed us tonight.
No, and once again, they opened the game like a ball of fire, and they opened the second quarter in a ball of fire. So, or, I'm sorry, the second half. So really, they had to take some air out of St. Wendelin. I mean, they have a good ending to the first half, and boom, they're just hit with a brick wall. And we'll see what they can do offensively. Once again, working out of the eye. Calvert showing blitz. Johnson pumps one. He's under pressure, and a fumble. And St. Wendelin recovers. But the big hit, and I didn't see who hit him. It looks, now it was John Rates. Thanks to our cameraman Dave Smith there, he caught it. He leveled him just right in the gut, knocked that ball loose. Lost 2 yards on the play, bring up 2nd and 12.
The receivers are so well covered, there's just no place to go. He just had to tuck in, try and get something out of it.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, this Calvert secondary really improved. Now Fisher back, and the give is to, that's going to go to number 22 for the Mohawks. That's Jacob Frankert. First time he's carried the ball tonight. He gets about 4, bring up 3rd and 6. Adam Reinhardt in on the stop. Still 9:11 left here in the third quarter. Calvert has jumped out to a 33-7 lead. Now the gives to Dixie. He's wrapped up. Still going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down. And we have a Seneca down on the field. And that looks like it's Reinhardt. No? Oh, looks like it's 5-something. Kind of hard to pick up. While there's a timeout on the field, we'll take a timeout as well. Alrighty, we are back here at National Machinery Field, and Scott Frank up and under his own power. That's great to see, Josh. He is a vital part of that Seneca line, and of course we don't like to see injuries, but up, and it looks like he might have just got the wind knocked out of him. Nevertheless, it's 4th down for the Mohawks and 1 to go, and they will go for it. My guess is they'll give it to the beast back there, Lucas Hawkins. They line up in the eye, and no, they give it to Dixie. He's got a first down, and about a yard more. So the Mohawks will get 4 more downs to work with. They trail 33-7.
You know, Calvert seems to come out a lot more inspired here in the second half. I mean, the second quarter, they kind of seemed like they backed off a little bit, maybe got comfortable with their lead, and Toby Hannon, I'm sure, gave them a good talking to at halftime.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a few words of wisdom. But, yeah, you're right, they did. They totally relaxed after they got that 20-0 lead. course, that happens so quick. I guess it's an easy thing to do, but focus here. Now the give to, that looks like it's number 22, Frankert. And it was Jacob Frankert on the carry.
Hawkins was the ball carrier.
Or Lucas Hawkins.
Stop for the Senecas was Jeff Beasley.
He got about 4 on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 6 from their own 49-yard line.
2nd and 6 for the Mohawks.
It really seems like St. Wendelin hasn't got any pass offense here.
No, well, like I say, traditionally they're not a pass-oriented team, and when they try and do something they're not used to doing, a lot of times it's not going to work, and especially against a team like this. Now Hawkins has just plowed at the line. He goes nowhere, and he lost 1.
Hawkins was the ball carrier.
Well, at this point in time, you think
About a yard loss in the play. The stop
maybe
was
St. Wendelin would want to work on some of those passing plays. Game kind of out of hand now, and time winding down. So, but they elect to go with the run game, and we'll see how long they continue to do that.
That last play, it seemed like there was either a misdirection or just a miscommunication there.
There's Frankert. He's hit, and again shy of the first down. He picked up about 3 on the play,
Frankert was the ball carrier.
but he's going to be 3 shy. Bring up a 4th and 3 in Seneca territory at about the 48-yard line. Still 6:50 left here in the
Bring
third
up
quarter.
a 4th and 3 for the Mohawks.
And now Johnson will work out of the shotgun formation, and now the Mohawks are going to call a timeout. So we'll take a timeout ourselves. 6:34, Tiffin Calvert 33, Fostoria St. 117. Alrighty, we're back here, and the Mohawks elect not to go for it. They will punt, and Joe Reinhardt will do the kicking duties. Now a timeout on the field by the official. And looks like Dustin Reisner is having a little problem with his helmet. Well, Josh, is this time for a fake punt? Or?
You know, it looked like they may have been setting up for one, and number 67, Quentin Teal, just kind of ran on the field and ran back off, and he ran back on, and they had to call a timeout because they weren't set.
Well, we'll see what they do here. And it is a fake punt. And Calvert all over it. And it's intercepted again by Dustin Reisner. His 3rd interception of the night. And nothing doing for the Mohawks. So Calvert comes up with another big defensive stop. And they'll take over offensively once again here. Well, what can you say about Dustin Reisner? They float that ball right out there, and he's all over it.
It's sad to say he might be their leading receiver right now.
I'd imagine he really is. Him or Bart Fisher, one of the two. Never good when the other teams are leading receivers, but the scoreboard is showing that now. Right in the backfield, Stelling Puffenberger. We know what he can do. Now Keller, now the gives to Rate. And another big opening. He's taken down, but not before he gets about 8 yards.
The stop was Hawkins.
He's really explosive, that hole. I mean, it's just a little bit open, and he just turns on the jets, and he gets right through there.
Well, it's a case of fresh legs, I think. And that's what you want. You want to develop some depth, and Calvert's done a nice job of that. Imagine one more score here, and you're going to see most of the starters out of the ball game. The gives to Rates again. He's got a first down. He's got more. He keeps his feet going, and he picked up 5 extra yards. About 10 in all, and he's got another Calvert first down.
First down for the Senecas. On the stop was Zach Sitter and Diesel.
Tim Brodman back in the ball game for Calvert. And, of course, Calvert coming out ranked 5th in this week's Associated Press poll. And to win here, they should move up at least another spot as Minster was pounded last night. And so we look for them to be maybe number 3 or 4. Now Keller, he's dropped in the backfield. He scrambled, but really nowhere to go.
Keller is brought in the backfield by Frankert.
Frankert drops Keller for the sack. It's going to bring up a second and about 14 as Eric Lee and Nick Lucius check back into the ballgame.
You have to wonder if St. Wendelin's defense may be wearing down a little bit here as we come into the second half.
Well, they have to be getting tired of it. They've been on the field for a while. And when you're behind like they are, there's a give to Rates. And he's got a big opening. He breaks free. And another big gain. 18-yard gain. Oh, I'm sorry, it was more than that. It was about a 23-yard gain for Jonathan Rates. And he has just provided a big spark here for Calvert. Unbelievable. He just keeps his legs going. It seems like every time he picks the ball, he doesn't get anything less than 8 to 10 yards. And now the Mohawks will call a timeout. From that timeout, and Josh, our cameraman brought up a good point. John Rates is out there playing defense, so his legs aren't all that fresh, but nevertheless, and he's wrapped up for the first time tonight, so maybe I spoke a little too soon. Rates just back to the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard, bring up second and about 10. Now they're going to call it 11. From the Mohawk 26.
The offensive line has done a great job of creating holes for Rates, too. I mean, there's such a wide gap that he just hits the hole, and there's nobody there to tackle him.
No, and you're going to see some subs come in and out of that lineup. Now Keller back to throw. He looks for Reisner, and no. I'm sorry, that was Nick Lucius, and now we're going to have a pass interference call. A late flag comes in. That's almost got to go against the Mohawks.
At least he just did a great job, but he almost hauled that in one-handed.
Yeah, he did. Here, a little boo coming out of the St. Wendelin sideline. A tough call, but nevertheless, they're going to march off 10 yards there. And another automatic first down. Calvert will be able to get a first down at the 2-yard line, so not a goal situation. 4:13 left here in the third quarter. And Keller looks to pass. He looks towards the end zone, just a little underthrown to Fisher at about the 2-yard line.
Keller obviously getting the job done tonight, but he's not looking quite as sharp as he has the past 3 weeks.
No, and they are getting some pressure on him, but nevertheless a good performance. He's made some tough throws and just maybe a step off with his receivers though this time. Now the give to Rates. He dances, pick up 1, maybe 2, to about the 10, but it will bring up a third down situation.
On the stop was Rob Beckstetter. We're making 3rd and 8 for the Senecas. The ball on the 10-yard line.
It really helps out for Keller, though, when you have a rushing team kind of carry you along the way.
Yeah, they do, and do a very good job of that. We'll see what the call is here. 4 receivers. I really don't think the ball is catchable.
Yeah, it was a good 2 or 3 yards overthrown there.
Depending on the play was Hensley.
Keller does have a bit of a strong arm tonight. That was a good call on your part. So it'll be their second down, or their second 4th down situation of the night in this territory. Of course, the first one we thought was a touchdown, but that was a drop. Now Keller drops back, looks to Lucius, incomplete, and St. Wendelin will take over. So 3:30 to go here in the third quarter. Tiffin Calvert 33, St. Wendelin 7. Alrighty, back here at National Machinery Field where the Mohawks take over. And they give it to big Lucas Hawkins. He goes nowhere. A host of Senecas bring him down. Adam Reinhardt was in there. And he's going to lose about 2 yards on the play.
sure the Mohawks are really happy with that stop, but they're leaves them in deep field position down here.
Yeah. They've got about 89 yards to go for a score. Something they need desperately. Now Kirshner and Scott Frank out of the ball game. Some new faces in there for Calvert, some shuffling. And now Johnson gives to maybe Frankert. And indeed it is. Bring up a third and about 2, a long 2 for St. Wendelin. Again, a little too late for St. Wendelin, not being able to generate anything offensively, and they paid for it.
They've had some success rushing the ball, but just when it comes to putting points on the board, it just hasn't happened for them tonight.
Now the full house, and Frankert, he's initially hit for a loss that spins away and picks up a first down. Clock stops momentarily, but back around again. We're down to 1:59 in the third quarter. And now the gives to Franker. He's got another first down. And some new faces in there for Calvert. And that defensive line breaking down just a little. And St. Wendelin finally getting something going here. That'll bring the ball out to about the 36, 37-yard line. And first down in the drive. The Mohawks go to the wishbone. And it gives to Frankert again. He's wrapped up. Adam Reinhardt in there. Gain of about 3.
The Mohawks really liking that smash mouth style right now. Just kind of like line them up and let's go at it.
St. Wendelin, they have pretty good sized backs. They go 250, about 220, and then Dixie at about 190. But he's I remember him from baseball. He's solid as a rock. And they give to the up back again. He gets nothing. Maybe a yard. And that will bring up a third and about 6 for Fostoria St. Wendelin. And that may be the last play of the third quarter. Now about 10 seconds left here. And we'll see if they can get a play off.
It's really nice for Toby Hammond to get the opportunity to put his second string because you never know who's going to come down with an injury, and you need that experience maybe later on in the season.
And that is going to do it for the third quarter. So we played 3 here at Frost-Kalnow Stadium. Tiffin Calvert 33, Fostoria St. Wendelin 7. Okay, and after a change of ends of the stadium here, we'll open up the final 12 minutes of play. Calvert leading St. Wendelin 33-7, and the Mohawks putting together a little drive here. Senecas show blitz. They do put pressure on Johnson. He rolls out, and he's going to put it up in the air, and almost picked off. That was Scott Mayberger on the coverage, and close to the Senecas' 4th pick of the night.
Both the receiver and the defensive back there just had an opportunity to catch and kind of went to war for it, and nobody got it there.
Yeah, really a both play on nice parts, and Mr. Reinhardt will be back to punt again for the Mohawks, as it is 4th down. Fisher back deep for Calvert. He's had a couple good returns tonight. And the kick is away. And Fisher's just going to let that one bounce. And it's going to roll to about the Calvert 27-yard line. So
Down on about the
ball game. And now that's going to do it for Nate Keller. Mark Bogger, the freshman, he's going to go under center for Calvert with the first team and see what he can do. And right off the bat, it's going to be 5 yards backwards for him. Illegal procedure going to be the call against Calvert.
You know, even though this game seems to be in hand, the Calvert faithful always sticking around to close to the end of the game to cheer their team on here.
Yeah, they have. And I'll tell you what, Nate Keller, great night, 2 touchdown passes that gives him 9. And I'm not sure how many yards he had. Coming in, he needed 220 to make the century mark, but I'm sorry, the 1,000-yard mark, but I'm not sure that he did that. Nevertheless, well on their way to victory number 4. That was John Rates on the carry. He was stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Calvert, they will travel to Attica next week to play Seneca East. The Tigers, and now that's going to be a flag thrown, and that's going to go against St. Wendelin. The defensive back across the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. It's a little eager, and Calvert will get 5 of those yards back.
I thought I heard them announce earlier they're going to have a tailgating party next week before the game.
Yes, they are. That kind of got started in the playoffs last year. Kind of a tradition got started there. Of course, Calvert went 3 weeks into the postseason before bowing out in the state semifinals. But encourage everyone to come out and join the crowd in Attica next week. Now Bogger, he gets tripped up as he hands off to Race, and Race is going to be just back to the line of scrimmage. Of course, now the key is just keep that clock moving. 10:34 and counting.
I'm sure the St. Wendelin coming into the second half had to be really happy with sticking with Calvert, and all of a sudden they exploded like they did in the first quarter, and the deficit's almost too much to overcome.
Yeah, it really was. And you know, after they got kind of a late start with St. Wendelin, they got the block punt for a touchdown, and now a fumble by Bogger. He picks it up, he runs, he's got a lot of running room. A great play by Bogger, and he's got a first down. Well, good awareness by Bogger. He bobbled the snap, then just picked it up and took off. He had nothing but green pastures ahead of him, and showing good poise. Chad Fiesel on the stop for the Mohawks.
Show good speed there as outrunning the defensive line.
It really did. Correction, Jeremy Fiesel on the stop. Now Rate, he's going to be rolled up again. It's going to be about a 2-yard loss.
Calvert, I'm sure, just looking to run the clock out a little bit here, maybe get this game moving on.
Yeah, they are, and doing a pretty good job of it. As long as Bogger can come up with plays like that, they shouldn't have a problem doing that. This is really Bogger's first opportunity with that first team. Now he's going to throw, and well, that was a broken play from the start.
Looks like Lucius kind of fell down about midfield there, and Bogger didn't see it till it was too late.
Yeah. This field, really, it's a it's a great field. I haven't heard any complaints about players slipping, but I'd imagine it can maybe get a bit slippery out there. But one of the premier surfaces to play on. Now the handoff. That's going to go to Pat Beeler. He fumbles. And it's picked up by Calvert.
It's also got to be different for opponents coming in here. It's their first time on the field getting used to it, and they got to go out there and play.
Yeah, it is. Chris Kirshner recovers that fumble. And Bart Fisher will be forced to punt. Back deep for the Mohawks. That will be number 7. And that is Dustin Faith. And here's Fisher's kick. Good high kick. That's going to be taken and immediately hit by Lucius. Well, Dustin Faith no more got the ball in his hands, and he was leveled.
It's one of those feelings where the ball is holding up in the air, and he just didn't call a fair catch, and you just knew he was going to get hit.
Yeah, he did. It can't be a very good feeling. You see a host of blue coming straight at you. Some more new faces out there for Calvert. In fact, just about everyone. Senecas obviously well on their way to win number 4. They lead 33-7. Now Johnson, and he gives to the first back. That is Jacob Frankert. Stopped right at the line. Kevin Reineman on the stop.
And Calvert going to be 1-0 in the MAL now, and they're obviously the team to beat this year.
Yeah, and 2 tough games coming up, though. They have not easy going over to Attica, and then they come home and play Cary the following week. And Cary roughed up by Mohawks last night, but they stand at 3-1. Now the pitch, that goes to Dixie. Shannon Dixie picks up about 4, about maybe 5.
Looks like we got a flag on the play also.
And it's going to be a face mask against the Senecas. That should give St. Wendelin a first down. I think with the last of our warm weather nights here, it's really cooling off. But nevertheless, a beautiful night for football.
Sure, with the adrenaline on the field, none of the players down there feel being cool.
No, I'm sure they don't. Been a game of quick little bursts, and it's given Calvert that 33-7 lead. Now they give to Dixie. He has some running room. Picked up about 7, and into Calvert territory at the 46. 6:58 and counting.
You know, St. Wendelin's crowd's really sticking around here for their team being down by 26.
That's another solid program over there in Fostoria. Always a good gathering, a good following. Now it'll be second and about 3 for St. Wendelin. And now Johnson rolls. He's going to be pressured by Moyer. He's going to take off. He has some running room. He has a first and a little more. Finally knocked out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. But not before he picks up another first down. Well, Josh, another thing that will debut this week is the Ohio High School Association computer rankings. As far as I can see, Calvert an overwhelming number 1 there. Last week about 5.25 average, and Strict won this week, as did Norwalk St. Paul, and Sandusky St. Mary's. For a while, they looked to be on the winning track before Huron derailed them. So Seneca's picking up some more points this week. Now the give is to the first back. That is Frankert. He gets to the 30, gain of about 4. And now it's like a whole host of new Mohawks ready to come in here. And indeed, Coach Kobe Coburn sends in a new set of troops. So Calvert's second team has been out there for a while. The Mohawks will take their crack at it now.
St. Wendelin had a really good drive here, and we'll just see if they can't keep it going now.
Well, I'm sure Coach Coburn would like to see some of these younger kids get something going. Now Mike Myers at the helm for the Mohawks. The give is to 35. That's Charlie Frankert. And he is stopped at the line. Bring up a 3rd and 5. Just about to the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter. And there's a give again. That is to Frankert, and he is piled up by a host of Senecas. And that will bring up 4th down. In there on the stop for Calvert. One of the first ones in, that was number 61, Ben Silver. Chris Molesky also in the pile. Now it's to the point, Joshua, we got to start learning some of these other names.
Sure, we'll be calling them in a couple years here.
And here's the 4th down. Myers back to throw. And he's got a wide open receiver. And it's incomplete. And now Calvert will take over. That was number 89, Tommy Wade, and he had it in his hands for a moment. But a nice job of breaking that up with Calvert's defense. So now they'll take over. Pat Baylor will be in the backfield. 4:22 left in the game. Now looks like we'll also have a new quarterback for Calvert. That is number 12, Tony Panuto. I believe he is a sophomore. And the give is to Beeler. He's got some running room. And a big hole. Beeler takes off. He's across the 50. Stays in bounds. And down to the Mohawks 30. A great run by Pat Beeler.
It looks like they're going to mark him out about the 44-yard line there.
Yeah, but not before he picks up 33 yards.
Sure, Calvert just happy here to try and get some rushing offense going on and just run this clock out.
That's right. And it seems like every time they put a new running back in there, they get a nice little burst. And there's the give to Beeler again. He breaks up the middle. Gain of about 6. Of course, fireworks going off in our background here from the Heritage Festival, and we've already had our fair share of fireworks here on the field tonight. Now the give is to, that's Kyle Shear. He's close to the 1st down, and he has it. So Shear picks up about 5 yards, and it'll be another 4 downs for the Senecas.
You know, the Mohawks had good penetration there, and they almost took the handoff right from Panuto.
Yeah, they did, and maybe a little too much. So Seneca's second teamers putting together something here. And now a fumble, and St. Wendelin might have it, and they do. So a fumble by Panuto, and St. Wendelin will take over. We'll take a break here at Frost-Kalnow Stadium. Tiffin Calvert 33, Fostoria St. Wendelin 7. Alrighty, and we're back, and some of the younger kids taking their shot. The Mohawks recover a fumble. Now they give to Frankert. He picks up 3. Clock continues to run. We're down to 3 minutes.
On the stop for the Senecas was Dan Snyder. Also Chris Molesky.
Chris Molesky on the stop for Calvert.
If you look across the sideline at the Mohawks bench, they got players sitting on the bench in one year with their helmets off, looking kind of dejected. But they put up a really good fight here the first half.
Yeah, they did. They give up the 20 quick points, and now a whole host of fireworks going off.
Jordan Taylor was the ball carrier. On the stop for the Senecas was Molesky. Bring up a 3rd and 1.
He's 3rd and 1 for St. Wendelin. And we're down to about 2 minutes. Now the give on the delay. That's number 30, Stuart Hensley. He has the first down, about 6 yards more, and into Calvert territory at about the 48. Well, we're down to about that time, and we'll name our 3rd Tiffin University Educational Access Player of the game. And Josh, I'm not going to give it to just one player. I'm going to say it's going to go to the whole Calvert Seneca defense. Great game tonight. 3 interceptions, 3 by Dustin Reisner. And they really just, they didn't give the Mohawks much breathing room all night. So once again, the Calvert defense are Tiffin University Educational Access Players of the game.
Got to the backfield by Peter Lucius. Also Ben Stover. Second and 11.
Be 2nd and 11 for the Mohawks. Now closing in on it. And the give to Hensley. He's wrapped up.
Charlie Frankert, the ball carrier. Picks up a couple yards on the play. On the stop for the Senecas was Chris Herbert.
This win puts Calvert back on the